Hey guys, this is episode 16 of Amazing Entrepreneurs titled Social Media to AI, the Marketing Toolkit. I'm joined by Denis Sinelnikov from Media Components. You're not going to want to miss this episode. Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Amazing Entrepreneurs. This is episode 16. I'm here with my buddy Denis from Media Components. So I'm going to go ahead and snap it over to him. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Media Components.
Hey, Michael, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be your guest.
Yeah.
It's actually one of my first podcast experience.
Awesome. Well, welcome.
And this is a great setup, really sophisticated. I'm really impressed. My name is Denis Sinelnikov. My company is Media Components. We're a full-service digital marketing agency specializing in full-service digital offerings.
Nice. So when you say full service, just for those who don't understand, because for instance, I had a guy on the other day, my buddy Andrew Nice from Nice Productions. If you haven't seen it, check out episode 15. But he kind of is a marketing. He's more of a creative guy. He's like, I'm not a marketing company. I do like production and creative work. But you say you're full service. So full service digital meaning, can you just break down the components?
Sure. So, the name Media Components, we specialize in different components of media. So I kind of started this company initially as a web design company. We were building websites. This was before the social media, Web 2.0 pop. So we started building websites, and then after a while, clients were saying, well, we have a website, but we're not getting any traffic on it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So slowly we start getting into other avenues, Google optimization, Google pay-per-click, social media, content generation.
Okay. So you do it from start to finish digitally. You kind of help lay the foundation for a company marketing-wise.
Yeah.
Nice. Because my own website, we recently redesigned it, and the purpose is I don't need a fancy brochure to make me feel better. I want a website that's actually functional and usable for you. And so is that the experience that you typically provide?
So is your website, what platform was it built on?
Well, we did a cookie cutter. Do you guys do, that's a good question too. Do you guys do cookie cutter? Are you a WordPress guy, or do you have recommendations?
Yeah, great question. So we work on different platforms.
Okay.
We have WordPress as a platform. That's not a cookie cutter, but more custom. Mm-hmm. So we also do websites on Wix. We're a Wix partner.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's more affordable. It really depends on the budget, but we can set up a website depending on the company size, really to fit your budget. We set up a custom quote for you.
Beautiful. And you guys do all the content for the website? Because that's my biggest thing.
Good question. That seems to be a big kind of pain point for customers.
Oh my God, I hate it. It's like come up with content. I don't know.
Yeah, great question. So we do come up with the content. With today's tools, with the AI, with the ChatGPT, it's really become easier to come up with content. So what we do is we send a questionnaire to the client. We kind of do a discovery process. We kind of try to learn what the company's practice areas, services, what are their pain points, what's their target audience. And then based on that, we interview the client and learn about it, and then help them and assist them to write the content. But we really need to understand their business from their owner's point of view.
I agree wholeheartedly. That sounds like an amazing experience. I've worked with a couple different firms in the past, and it sounds like I should have worked with yours, because I've never had I've had meetings where they asked me about my company or whatever, but, part of it, in IT speak, we always do a discovery, because I need to know what I am working with, or where are you trying to go? And
Yeah. I mean, clients, they're really busy with their business,
right?
Their day-to-day just operating. That's when they come to us to really assist them to get their word out, to get the marketing plan, to get the website, to get their editorial calendar of consistent social media updates. So once we sit down with the customer, first thing we do is we audit the website. We audit their marketing, we audit their citations or directories to see if somebody types in the client's company name or their personal name, we want to see what comes up on the results. And after that, we sit down and we come up with a marketing plan for their digital marketing. So it's not just putting out a website and hoping there's going to be traffic.
Right.
We really do the kind of like the keyword research to see who are their competition. We do a competitive analysis, and then we put together a plan. What needs to be done? Do they need to redo the website, or can they just optimize it with better speed, better coding, better graphics, better content, or they need to completely just leave the website and optimize the content, like the blogs, maybe drive some PR, digital PR links back to their website.
Right.
In most cases, clients that have an existing business, their website is okay, but what we do is we come in and help them optimize the website.
Right. Right. And that's, to me, I've had, like, I know my website, I've looked at it and found out that nothing was ranking, and it's just like, what do you mean nothing's ranking? I don't know anything about that. So,
Yeah. I mean, you have, I checked out your website, looks really nice, but the most important part on the website, I would say, is the content, like the keywords, the on-page copy. So unless your website is optimized with the right meta tags, the H1 tags, that's really when the website starts ranking. And it's important to also get the off-site traffic.
Well, you're making me a little self-conscious right now. Let me tell you something, Dennis. Right, as of right now, we rebranded not too long ago.
Okay.
So that's my excuse. I know, like, we have a lot of work to do. So I'm a little embarrassed.
No, your website looks great. I haven't done any like SEO audits, but it's going to take some time. So if you just launched it, it'll take some time for it to rank.
We're getting there. We'll see. And this is why I wish I would have hired you guys, 5 years ago, whenever we started, because we started off doing one thing. And then, and anybody listening, if you start off being, I always say electrician or a plumber, or if there's, any sort of entrepreneurial service, you could have any number of different businesses. But if you don't have some sort of like core offering, like marketing, that is really leveraging that tool, that's an asset to you, and you're really leaving money on the table. And if you have a fantastic product, you're doing yourself and your clients a disservice by not putting it out there.
Yeah, I always tell my clients, especially like startups or new businesses, I like working with new entrepreneurs that are opening up a new business.
Right.
Because if they're on a limited budget, we can at least get a proper landing page up, connected to Google listing.
Right.
And then really it's free to open up social media accounts. So if you open up Facebook, LinkedIn, Google listing, Twitter, all of those social signals link back to your website, it kind of dominates the first page results. So it doesn't cost anything to open up a social media account. We can obviously help clients to do that, or startups. But to get a landing page up, put your picture in there, maybe like a video, get your about section and listing your services, you're going to be ahead of people that don't have a website. Website is really the crucial thing you need to do nowadays.
It's funny you say that. We have a product, but it's kind of on the flip side of it. We do this, not to pitch our stuff, but in order to succeed in the market, you have to have a website. Same thing with and I see it all the time with like personal emails as their business email. You're like, to me, whenever I see that, I automatically think you're not a real business. And that isn't necessarily true, but it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Subconsciously, I discredit the business a little bit, even if it's 10% in my mind. If I'm looking at Gmail versus that, I automatically swap to that. And so same thing with digital footprint.
Yeah, it's the first impression. I mean, when I work with a business owner and they have like at AOL or at Hotmail.
Right.
So I say like, hey, that's your personal email. You need to register a domain name and put your name at yourcompanyname.com. So that's the first impression when you're doing business. And I totally agree with you on that one.
So this has been good. Let's rewind a little bit. So, a little bit about media components. So when did you start? Were you graduated from school for marketing and started your own business? Did you start off as working for someone?
Yeah, great question. So media components. So it started about 2003.
Okay.
That's when I came up with the name Media Components.
Yeah.
It took a while going to a domain name registrar and just looking at different domain names. And the whole media and components, we wanted to make it very kind of broad, because you can do different components of media. We started with the website design and graphic design first.
Right.
So before any digital marketing. So it was really multimedia components.
Right.
And during this time, I was going to University of Penn State, and I started this as a part-time business, helping out friends, setting up websites, setting up their branding materials. And then during that time, I actually worked for a first online store, cdnow.com. It was one of the first pioneers of music stores
I remember
online.
that. I remember CD Now.
Yeah. So I started there. After I graduated college, I worked as a web designer, manager for a travel company.
Okay.
And during this time on the back end, I was always running media components.
You're
doing
an
it
entrepreneur.
as a freelance.
Yeah.
After a while, referrals just kind of piled on. I took a risk and said, I'm resigning from my full-time job. I'm going to do media components full-time. So this was around 2007.
Yeah.
Around there, and I've been doing it ever since. It's been a ride.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a long time. So you've been in business for, full time, 15 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
over 15 years.
Congratulations.
Kind of been growing with the trends, with
Yeah.
the technologies. That's really why I'm passionate about my company, because every day there's something new to learn and innovative.
Well,
technology.
that was kind of, honestly, because 2007, you're talking about like Facebook is just now catching on.
Yeah, this was, I believe it was still MySpace days.
Right.
So, we were promoting businesses on MySpace, putting up bulletins.
Right.
I don't know if you remember MySpace bulletins.
No. I remember MySpace.
Yeah. So, like, we were putting updates and promoting local venues, local restaurants. Then, Facebook started popping up on the scene, and we kind of shifted towards the social media craze and setting up business pages. Then when their advertising platform, the business advertising came up, we just kind of ran with it and started promoting businesses on Facebook. Then Instagram came out, and now, there's a new social media, looks like every week coming out. So
Right.
we just,
Threads.
just
Yeah.
Threads. Well, Threads came and went. So
Yeah. Is it done? Are we done already with Threads? Yeah.
no, people are still utilizing. When I tell my clients, if there's a new social media platform out there,
Right.
you need to register it, you need to optimize it, because it's just another impression
Right.
that your potential clients can look at.
Gotcha. So, so you've kind of gone through the business, started organizing, started changing. New technologies come on. What would I guess my biggest thing to stay current? What do you think the biggest changes happened in the past? Since COVID.
Yeah, great question. So since COVID, personally, a lot of my clients were really nervous what's going to happen with their business, with their marketing.
Right.
What COVID did, it really transformed and sped up the process of business going online.
Right.
So a lot of my clients transitioned their thinking from offline marketing
Yeah.
into digital, because with stay at home, the lockdowns, everybody was stuck at home.
Right.
A lot of the brick and mortar businesses kind of shut down. So all the attention was on the online, on the web, on the social. So we kind of quickly regrouped. We came up with solutions and plans how to utilize that attention towards our clients.
Gotcha.
So, transformation of online and e-commerce really grew. So a lot of clients decided to sell their products online. So we were busy setting up, Shopify websites,
Okay.
because their brick and mortar was closed. People
Right.
were doing e-commerce and delivery.
Okay, so you do a lot of Shopify work. Is that your e-commerce
Yeah,
platform, of course?
that's
choice?
yeah, we're a Shopify partner, so
Okay.
we do quite a bit of Shopify websites.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it so? Just so I understand, if I was selling something, is it like Wix plus Shopify or Shopify plus WordPress, or is it just one or the other, or how does that usually look like?
Yeah, it depends on the size of the company, the amount of products. Again, it depends on the budget. So if it's a sophisticated business that has a good amount of revenue,
Sure.
we recommend them the best kind of like enterprise solution with the big community and a lot of apps,
Right.
and that would be Shopify.
Okay.
If they're like a startup and they're just looking to get something up, they don't have a big budget, we can go with Wix,
Okay.
which is
So
affordable, and WordPress and WooCommerce.
okay.
But in majority, for sophisticated companies that have been in business for 5+ years, Shopify would be the best recommendation.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it really kind of depends on what you can afford, so to speak. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Um, I'm I'm thinking about which direction that I want to go with the next question.
Hmm.
Specific, you know what? Let's go with it, because our listener is an entrepreneur, and as somebody, and they, they're doing their job or whatever, and maybe they haven't even considered marketing at all, or
Hmm.
maybe they've considered it very lightly, and they're doing something. Say they're going to networking events, or they're going to a BNI or something like that. What from your perspective, what is their most bang for their buck that they should do right now? And I know you mentioned social media, but like
Hmm. Hmm.
what bang for if you stop and do this one thing, what is that one thing?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I do get it asked a lot. So if you're just starting out and you're on a low budget, I would say what's trending right now would be the user-generated content,
Okay.
specifically video content. So what you need to do is kind of start. You really don't need professional equipment, but start with, you mentioned social media. Start by creating an Instagram account,
Okay.
creating a Facebook account, maybe a YouTube, and just start creating content.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be professional. It can just be you talking about your expertise. What
Right.
kind of value do you have to bring to the world?
Right.
If you're a plumber, you just talk about how to unclog a drain.
Right.
If you're a computer guy, talk about how you can upgrade your computer, for example. But setting up user-generated content,
Mm.
which is free, and it really has unlimited amount of potential.
Yeah. Right.
People can like it, can share it. You can utilize it in your PR. So I would say, social media. That's what's on the rise right now, and
Gotcha.
it's really still a cost-effective solution because compared to Google pay-per-click, for example,
Yeah.
Facebook ads, you get much more bang for the buck.
Yeah. Yeah. And you get much more bang for the buck when it happens, but the
Yeah.
frequency is less than doing like a pay per click. And just in case anybody's not familiar with, so Google Ads, like how's that typically, like at a high level? Can you explain to at a very very high level like what Google Ads is? Because like we could have honestly 20 podcasts in a
Yeah, we'll
row
have
on
to
it.
spend like a week just
Yeah,
sitting
yeah,
there.
yeah. I saw you gave me that look. It was like, are we
Really?
really doing this? No, but at a high level, just
Yeah.
like what is Google Ads, and like what do you mean as far as
Yeah.
efficient?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. So, a lot of our clients, for example, are in the healthcare industry.
Sure.
I'll use a dentist, for example.
Okay.
So, what do we do and how do we utilize Google pay-per-click? So, let's say you have a toothache or you're looking to do a teeth cleaning. I know it's
Right.
not a
Right.
popular topic, but people go to Google and they type in dentist near me or implant dentist near me. So, what we do is we optimize the pay-per-click results, and the first result on top would be the dentist that has
Ah.
the biggest kind of click opportunities. So
Right.
we optimize the cost per click to make sure they show up on top. Since it's a competitive industry and dentistry is a really expensive kind of service,
Okay.
especially in implants, they have a bigger budget. They can pay anywhere from $10 to $30 per click,
Okay.
depending on the area. So it's not the most cost-effective opportunity for a smaller business without a big budget to bid on. That's why I mentioned social media is more affordable because it's more indirect, and Google pay-per-click is just cost more.
Yeah, and to elaborate a little bit on your point about social media, we do that. And if you guys have not joined our groups, you can see me doing this live and in action Mondays, sometimes Wednesdays, but always Mondays and Fridays. I put out two things. One's a Monday motivation, tell me what you're going to get done. Friday is tell me what you accomplished. And the purpose of that is if you're just by yourself, you have no accountability. But if you put something like that out in the air, you have something that you can crush. And because the purpose of this podcast is for Real Talk Shared Growth. It's to support South Florida businesses. So if you haven't and you're thinking about doing something like that, look at my very amateurish version of it Mondays and Fridays in our Facebook and LinkedIn groups.
I forgot to mention LinkedIn, but that's really on the rise right now. LinkedIn is kind of emerging as the next kind of Facebook. So
Right.
people are utilizing it not only for business, but even personal. I've seen some personal updates, but Facebook is also a great platform. I mean, LinkedIn is a great platform to utilize right now.
Yeah, for me, it's like it really depends on what your market is. Like we do business to business, and it's not that I don't mind posting to personal people, but
Yeah.
we work with other businesses. So like if someone calls me and asks me to fix their computer and it's just an individual, not
Yeah.
going to be much help, But
Exactly. Yeah, I use LinkedIn for like personal branding as a
yeah,
professional.
right.
So I think if you want to build your personal brand and supplementary promoting your company, it's a great network to do that. And I personally used it to recruit employees. It's a great hiring platform as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How you do you guys are components, so you guys have individuals. So I'm assuming you guys have professionals on staff in all areas of expertise for the full digital suite.
Yes, so some of the departments that we work with,
Okay.
as I mentioned, website design
Yeah.
and e-commerce. We have a web department which we build out custom websites, custom e-commerce, and custom landing pages, to drive qualified leads.
Right.
Once we build those out, we have the digital marketing department, which is targeting specific strategic ads to those landing pages or targeting traffic for the phone call optimization. So whether it's a pay-per-click or a Facebook ad, once we get a qualified audience, qualified like eyes on that specific ad, there's a strong call to action. They
Right.
click on it, it either generates a phone call, which we track and record for quality assurance purposes,
Right.
or we drive the traffic to the form and the form gets filled out and then it goes into the CRM system. We also set up custom CRM solutions for the clients based on their industry.
Really.
And we
Okay.
train our clients how to process the leads so they
Okay.
can actually see the ROI. They can track the quality of leads because it's important to track the spend.
Right.
Videography, as I mentioned, user-generated content. We have a videography department. We have
Wow.
video operators and editors, really
Okay.
kind of like on a full-time basis, because a lot of our clients, we create YouTube episodes, and then using that long-form content, we cut it up into short content for YouTube Shorts, Reels, TikToks. That's really the trending type of content right now. Is people just want to consume video. Nobody wants to read like a long white paper or a blog post.
I honestly, I mean, I don't know how much is actually written anymore. I think that's my biggest thing with like written content, and I know it's still a thing, and it helps with, we haven't talked a little bit about the SEO, but curious when search engine optimization. So like, I'm curious as to, how do you see it, Chat GPT and all these, optimizing to, I don't know, to it's hard, how is that going to impact SEO?
Great question. So everybody nowadays, I get questioned maybe like 5 times a day. How do you see AI taking away jobs in your industry?
Right.
How do you see AI, taking over the world, like Terminator style?
Right.
So while those are, important questions, I still think human element is the most important. You still
Right.
need the human operators to prompt those directions. But in our agency, we use ChatGPT on daily basis.
Yeah, we
For
do too.
SEO, it's great for.
It's silly not to, right?
Yeah, I mean, it nowadays when ChatGPT is down, people on the team go crazy. Like, why is it down?
Yeah.
Is the new CEO out or is he in? Is the company still going to be there tomorrow? What are we going to do without AI?
Right.
You get comfortable utilizing AI, whether it's writing emails or creating blog post topics or just preparing for a podcast. For example, I went to ChatGPT and I said, "Hey, give me some interesting questions I should be asked about my."
That's exactly how I did mine too.
Exactly.
Well, it's a good starting point.
We're just so used to like the shortcuts now.
Right.
But for marketing purposes, yeah, we use it daily. We use it for SEO. ChatGPT knows how to work with formulas, how to work with Excel. Now with the new version of ChatGPT, you can generate art. You can generate photos, realistic photos. So if a client does not have any photos, we can either use like stock photos or go to AI and type in a prompt, and it will generate one-of-a-kind, unique graphics. And then we can use it on their blog posts. We can even generate different elements for their website using AI.
Right.
But the new thing right now is we're utilizing a program that's called Descript. I don't know if you heard of it.
I'm not.
It's great for video and audio editing.
Really?
So whenever we shoot like a full-length YouTube video, we just feed it to Descript, and AI uses it to cut up specifically for short format, and it adds captions. You can edit it really easy. So, I mean, that's going to take away maybe a job that the editors do.
You hear that, Christian? You hear that, buddy? We're sitting over here at
did you hear?
Podcast Junkies studio, so you know
Your job is out, sir.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying the human element's still important. I feel like AI is here to help us do like a couple of shortcuts and do proper optimization of the content.
Right, yeah, because same thing with us. It's like, hey, it's a good starting point. We still need to look at it, and make sure, or you also need to tell people what to. That's what I tell people when they ask me is like, first off, the internet was just collecting data and storing it somewhere. AI is now, well, we have a lot of data, and that's what AI has consumed it. What do you do with it? Well, you have to tell it what to do with it in order to get what you're looking, in order to get to where you want to go.
Exactly. And, another new feature of AI we're utilizing is voice to speech. So we're working on a chat bot. We're going to be putting a widget on the website.
Nice.
People can just pre-qualify the traffic. And the next step would be actually generating a phone call.
Right.
And AI talks in a human voice and listens to the input and then outputs an answer with voice.
Yeah.
And then that's really the next step. And it's, we're utilizing ChatGPT bots and connecting through open API. So it's a sophisticated work, and I think that's the future.
We're gonna have to collaborate in the future on that for sure. I'm curious, just because like we do CRMs too. What's your flavor of choice, or whenever say somebody, it's like, hey, I don't have anything. I want to drive traffic. Yeah, I need to see what's the best spend. But also like once I give you a lead, you can't tell me, oh, the leads are bad. Well, how'd you work them?
Right.
I love that. So like, what's your implementation process there?
Yeah. So let me just think about that question. So implementing a CRM.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not trying. So do you have like and we don't have to go like super deep in it, but like, do you have a flavor? It's like, hey, because there's 1,000 different CRMs out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're asking what CRM solution?
Yeah.
So yeah, again, we are partnered with several CRM providers.
Okay.
Again, it depends on the size of the business.
Okay.
And the requirements for their day-to-day lead processing.
Right.
Majority of the bigger companies, we're a HubSpot partner.
Okay.
So we implement a license for HubSpot. We actually onboard them and train them how to utilize the system, how to qualify leads, how to make notes, and how to create custom automations and workflows on the HubSpot. For a small to medium-sized business, we're actually customizing our own open CRM right now.
Okay.
And that's going to be our own like SaaS product.
Oh,
so I'm
really?
excited to kind of release that within the next quarter.
I'm gonna have to demo. I'm gonna have to demo that.
Yeah, I'll show it to you. We're first starting with our healthcare niche, so it's going to be a lot of the marketing automation. It's going to automate like text messages, emails, voicemail drops. So it's going to be really kind of another level of income for the agency.
Yeah.
But I think that's the future, is automating the lead generation process.
Right. Well, I mean, to me, that's like invaluable. I definitely am interested because we do Dynamics, so Microsoft's flavor of it, but we're gold partners, so we're always going to buy, sell, eat crap dynamics. So, definitely, I think there's, room for us to collaborate and work together in the future on it.
Yeah, yeah. I would be open to learning more about the
Yeah,
Microsoft. It seems like it's more like an enterprise
yeah.
level solution.
It's it kind of it depends on what the organization's looking for. That's why I tell any CRM by definition, you should be able to fit it to where
Mm-hmm.
it can work. Any of them or most of them are pretty good. I mean, it's 2023,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
it depends on how big, what you're trying to do, automations,
Right.
and that ultimately from a marketing perspective, like if you can automate, like, hey, generate me more leads, that is so appealing,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's hard. Like, that part of the reason why we started this podcast was because we didn't we have a great product.
Mm-hmm.
Even our sales process is good. Had no idea how to start marketing, and
Yeah.
hit our heads into the wall 1,000 times, and now we're here. So
Yeah.
like, low key for me to learn, but hopefully we can pass some stuff over to our listeners too, and they get some value out of it as well. So
Yeah, yeah. The real purpose of CRM is to amplify the pipeline, right?
right.
So the name that we're launching is going to be called pipelineamp.com.
Okay.
So I registered a domain name, and we're in the process of launching like a beta testing. So we're going to be utilizing a couple of our healthcare clients to kind of demo and process the first version of the CRM system, and
Okay.
then optimize as we go. But pipelineamp.com, shout out.
Shout out. Hey, we'll drop that in the show notes too. If you don't, by the way, any and all contact information for Dennis and Media Components, you shared a lot of good stuff. We're not going yet, guys, but if you need to get in contact with this guy, I'm going to put it all in the show notes for you, okay? And all else fails, shoot us an email. I'll make sure to get in touch with you, okay? So Google,
Mhm.
Bing,
Mhm.
is my two, I know do you do a lot of Bing work, or is it like, how do you see that as like a competitor to Google in regards to a lot of people use Microsoft workstations
Mhm.
and the immediate browser shows Bing?
Yeah, great question. So we, depending on the client, we did utilize Bing paid search and paid ads, but we did not get results as we expected. So right now we're really focusing on Google
What? Yeah,
ecosystem.
yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe a poorly phrased question. But what about like if I optimize on one search engine,
Mhm.
does it kind of help optimize on all the search engines? Are they typically now? I know they change their algorithms all the time. So, how do you what do you do with clients whenever you sit down with a strategy and say, hey, this is where we want to be? Obviously, we want to make sure that we are page one. I see dentist near me, right?
Right, right. So since really Google has the monopoly on the search, we try to follow the formula for Google algorithm.
Okay.
Nobody really knows what the algorithm is for Google, but we, based on our experience, we kind of know the best practices.
Right.
What do we need to do to properly structure a website, or what kind of content we need to deliver on the blog or on the own
Right.
page. But if you set up the optimization properly for Google, all the search engines kind of follow.
They kind of follow. Yeah, it's
They kind of follow suit, after Google, as long as you have the backlinks, as long as the content is, like a human can read it. You don't want to do like black hat SEO, just stuff it with keywords. Google has always said that the website should offer value. It needs to be really easy to read. The user experience has to be practical. So as long as you're following those rules, all other search engines will scan the information and deliver the proper results for the human offering.
So black hat SEO is, not to go off on a tangent, but that's just basically throwing a crap ton of keywords up on.
Yeah, you've probably seen websites. You have like a website footer, and there's like, hundreds of links in the black font, in the black footer. So you can't really see them, but they're just stuff it with. So Google knows that's like, illegal.
thing.
It's not terms
Yeah.
and conditions. So they
Right.
completely kind of shadow ban you. They take you off.
Really? Okay.
So
They de-index you?
if you think you're doing something wrong, and you're probably right. So you need to just follow the best kind of protocols and the formula for Google.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And And guys, if you are listening to Denis and Media Components, your business is going to grow. And with that, we're going to pause real quick and go into our sponsor today. Are you expanding and is onboarding starting to become a challenge because you've gotten so great returns on your marketing? Are you concerned about your security and have no idea where to start? Are you considering hiring IT staff to handle your growing technology partners challenges? It's one of them days. Look no further than Amazing Tech, your one-stop shop for a fully virtual IT department. With Amazing Tech, we specialize in creating a stress-free onboarding process for your new users. Once onboarded, leave the technical stress of managing your environments to us. Our team of skilled experts is dedicated to ensuring your systems run smoothly 24/7. Focus on what you do best while we handle your technology needs. From VCIO services, technology procurement, and CRM management, we handle it all for one low monthly rate. Experience the ease of managed IT services with Amazing Tech. Visit our website at Amazing Tech, that's OHmazing.tech. Transform your IT worries into amazing results. What do you think about that hook? Amazing results.
I like the name. It's really kind of unique, and
Thanks, I appreciate it.
so
We
that's great.
we met. So kind of switching directions. I do want to get back more into specific on the products, but we met at South Florida Tech Hub networking, and then you recently invited me out to another group as well. So do you want to plug that in a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. We met at Boca Business Builders. It's a local networking group that we're launching.
Okay.
BocaBusinessBuilders.com. So I appreciate you attending that event.
Thanks for having me. It was very nice.
You invited me to the podcast, so it's all about connections.
Right.
But, I think the tech community in Florida is great. It's growing really fast.
Right.
Building the right connections.
Right.
But I grew my business is word of mouth referral marketing, just going straight to the networking events, local chamber of commerce. I think you build stronger connections face to face,
Right.
versus LinkedIn. But I think really that's the core of the human interactions is in person. But the local Boca Business Builders group is exclusive group for professionals that are looking to grow their business in the area in Boca Raton.
Yeah, and so meet weekly. If you're interested in learning more, check out the website. Also, once a month, there's a happy hour, right, where everybody gets together, has a couple drinks, maybe I think this week it was a couple tacos as well, right?
Yeah. We do monthly happy hours just to kind of meet additional people and grow the group outside the office.
That's big because I'm big on supporting South Florida business. If I can work with somebody locally versus like having to work with like first off, like they're incentivized to do a good job because I'm going to probably see them again. And at the end of the day, most people want you to like them, right?
Yeah,
Especially if you're giving them money. But on the like me and you have started working together, and we haven't necessarily purchased our services, but we can start collaborating. So, yeah.
I agree. I mean, we met, I learned about your business, and I go have meetings with my clients, and I listen to the keywords. If somebody needs a computer upgrade or they got a virus or any AI security issue, that's why I refer you.
Yeah, man. Same thing. Learning about you guys and different tips and tricks and understanding marketing from a high level. Because at the end of the day, you guys, it's a whole thing. If you want to be if you want to know it at the level you guys do, you have to take that on as a full-time job.
There's so much to learn, and
it's always changing.
I'm learning every day. It's the important thing in business is to really kind of attend the industry conferences, go to the industry events, partner with the people who are at high level within your industry, and always learning.
Right.
I grew my business by just being active in the community,
right.
Having the right mentor, somebody or you can look up to.
Right.
Like one of my coaches, he was in the agency world, and now he kind of just mentors me on, what's the right decision to make, whether it comes to hiring, firing, or getting the right partner or solution.
Right.
I always try to kind of bounce some ideas off the mentors who have done it successfully in the past.
Right. And are they influencers, or how'd you meet this relationship in regards to mentor?
Yeah, I mean, I met him through, again, local networking groups,
Okay.
local chambers.
Okay.
It's interesting that you mentioned influencers. I was actually going to mention, I think influencer marketing is also trending right now.
Right.
It's kind of also gives you bang for the buck. So micro influencers, high level influencers, they have a really great community. And if you can partner up with them and do some kind of a cross promotion package where they can promote your business, you can promote them to your community, your audience, it creates more stronger sell point. It's more authentic versus just putting out an ad. If an influencer talks about a specific product that they believe in, it comes on more like honest approach.
Right. And, it's funny you mentioned it because I brought it up before. I brought that up before whenever we spoke at the Business Builder event earlier this week. But the point of this podcast is we have a podcast and there's a purpose to it, but we also want to actually add value. We want to bring people on that's going to help me them not make the same mistakes I already have made. Yeah. Because it costs money, and also get real value from somebody. And first off, introduce a relationship. If and when I get to a point to where I can either afford or I can no longer, I've reached the capabilities of where I can get my own marketing. I know where to go, and we're considering doing like when I say considering, we are going to be doing something. I'm gonna plant that flag. We're going to do that Q1 of next year. Watch out. We're going to start making announcements about our small business summit for South Florida. Oh, wow. And so anybody who wants to come on, and I'm going to have you on as a part of it. And it's like, we're going to have some marketing experts. We're going to have some finance experts. We're going to have some attorneys. We're going to have also a gamut of people to come in, share some good quality knowledge that they do not necessarily know, that they normally would have to pay for, but they can get they can get something to get them going. And when they get their foot and they're established, they know where to go for, future growth. And if not, then a good lawyer, when your buddy sees your business take off, you can be like, go talk to him, or go talk to Dennis over at Media Components, because he'll help set you up. So. Exactly. If you can just come out of like a networking event or a conference with one usable thing you can apply in your business, that already gives you an ROI. Basically, you did not waste your time. You got something valuable out of that session. Tell me about niching, because you brought it up a couple times. So you said your healthcare niche. What niches do you guys serve? And well, let's start with that question. What is your focus point where you're like, we're the best at that? I mean, Media Components really is a general kind of agency. We service, majority of the industries that come in, whether it's legal, whether it's home services or manufacturing. The healthcare, we also have a separate kind of like a sister company. It's called Curious Digital. That company specializes in marketing, specifically home care agencies. Home care agencies is just a matter of getting more and more referrals. So, sorry to pause you. What is a home care agency? Home care service is when a caregiver cares for somebody at home. Like palliative or elderly care? Yeah, elderly care, senior care. Yeah. Let's say you have an aging family member, a caregiver stays at home and helps them with the meal preparation, takes them, does their medication, helps them with personal issues. So what we do for home cares with Curious Digital is, number one, we help them scale, we help them find caregivers in recruitment, and then we also utilize digital marketing strategies to find clients. So if somebody goes in a specific area and types in home care services, we want to make sure we optimize the results and get them the clicks and the phone calls. And that's one of the niches in the healthcare. Aside from that, we do get referrals for dentistry, as I mentioned, medical spas, surgeons, chiropractors. Med spas are taking off, aren't they? Med spas, specifically here in South Florida. Yeah. Med spas is a popular thing. Everybody wants to feel great, look great. So there's a lot of
you gotta look great in South Florida.
That's right. It's a lot of competition, especially for us single guys out there. So
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of innovation in the beauty services
Sure,
world. So
sure. Um, so you got different brands underneath. So where do you guys see yourselves in 5 years? Where's Media Components and we'll say your brands as a whole? Like where do you want to be when you grow up in 5 years?
Another 5 years, I see our companies innovating, coming up with different solutions that can help business owners with their problems.
Okay.
In 5 years, I seeing it just expanding and scaling up, getting more clients, offering cost-effective services. And really, my passion and kind of what I like to do is seeing success in my customers and my clients. That's really what wakes me up every morning and do
I was
this
going to
again.
ask that. That was the same. That was
That's
my
a
next
follow-up question.
Well, my
Yeah.
follow-up question is like, as an entrepreneur, right? You've been doing this for 15 years, and what kind of gets you going? Why, like, how? Because at a certain point in time, if you've been doing it for 50, you've got employees. You don't necessarily have to drive the ball home every single day. You could dial it in and just be
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I mean, I personally have, hobbies and interests. My main passion as an entrepreneur is to grow the company, but it also build a lifestyle where it allows me to have freedom to spend time with my family, with my kids.
Right.
I have like 2 kids.
Okay.
So,
How old?
9 and 6.
Okay.
So it's, you know how it is. You have kids. It's
They're
every day.
relatively, yeah. It's 9 and 6 is it's a different stage of life than I am, but like I can
Okay.
appreciate
How old
that.
are yours?
Mine's 2 and 4, so like
Okay.
and they're still
I know.
fairly needy.
They're not self-sufficient
No, yeah.
as a 9-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my goal is to grow the company, build a self-sufficient kind of system and process, and it's been a journey. So
Right.
that what kind of interests me is growing the businesses. I have a couple other business ideas. So any entrepreneur always thinks ahead.
You always got to find your time. It's like I have so many ideas that I got to be like, no, I got to focus on these because I'm not going
Focusing,
to
yeah.
execute it.
Yeah, focusing is really important.
Right.
And that's what I'm kind of trying to focus on, is focusing on the main vision. And 2024, I think it's going to be an important year where I need to focus and just commit.
Well, you got a lot of balls in the air, but I mean, not that you can't do it, but it sounds like you've got, I've heard different niches, continuing to stay competitive in the current market and evolving with the new market. I mean, it sounds like you got a lot of video stuff working on, all the while maintaining and keeping up the other stuff you have going. Also, by the way, we do CRMs, and we have our own CRM that we're launching that people can use as a SaaS product.
Yes.
That in itself is that's a mammoth of a project.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like I'm just creating more mayhem for myself,
But
but that's kind of, I like to live my life. If there's something that kind of pushes me to
You're a
create
builder.
create a solution to help my clients with issues. It's
I think those are the best because I'm the same way. I'm a builder. Like we start off managing IT, and we see our same clients struggling with the same things, and it's like, well, why are you doing it? At a certain point in time, we got to help them because like they're struggling with, and we can provide actual value to them. Because at the end of the day, we like happy clients, and I know you do too. But it's like we want them to be successful, and so you identify things, and it's like, what's going to have the most impact on them now?
yeah.
Hey, we can help them out with, once I get you a lead, how to go through the process. Because if I give you a lead, if you don't close any of them, then it's just a colossal waste of money, right?
Exactly. I mean, my happiest customers are my best, kind of like brand ambassadors.
Right.
They're the ones that refer me to the next friend within the same industry. So
Yeah.
that's how I grew my business. But I completely agree with you. And majority of my customers, I have like a personal relationship with, so they trust me that I'm not going to drop the ball and
Yeah.
treat it like my own business.
Yeah, and I mean, we've known each other about 6 months now, and I can tell you the amount. I found you particularly impressive because you interact with me whenever I'm not. You know, you stay out. Hey, where are we at with this? What are we doing? Not that you're trying to get me to buy something or sell me something. It's just, hey, let's keep the relationship going. I want to see you be successful. You know, and I commend that. So you know, it's important. I value mine the same way. So.
Yeah, no, I appreciate. I think the way you handled yourself within the podcast, within just the Tech Hub community.
I appreciate
you know,
that.
you have great reviews and just great reputation within the area. I think it's just beginning within your journey here.
Yeah, man. And you know, what I wanted to, and I appreciate that. You know, this has been good. We were talking a little bit about the social media stuff, and that's good. We also then talked about execution, focus, and like really hitting home these goals that we have as an entrepreneur. What do you see? So if I'm listening and I'm like, you know what, that Dennis guy's right. I'm gonna do some content, and I'm gonna do some free flow content because it's free. But what if I post? You know, what do you see successful people do to make that happen?
Yeah, I mean, I do have a formula for that. So the proper way to kind of multi-purpose, you know, omni-channel approach is you do create a piece of content, you really need to repurpose it on all the different platforms.
Okay.
So let's say you created this podcast, you want to repurpose it on as many platforms where people can consume this episode.
Right.
So obviously you're going to upload it to YouTube. You need to then create short form videos where you're going to upload it to LinkedIn, because this is more like entrepreneur. So I think that's a good platform for other connections to listen, consume the content. You need to share it on Instagram, on Facebook. And then most importantly, you want to have a website for the podcast where each time you release an episode, a new blog post is released. You have content, you put the keywords that we
just
spoke
thinking about that.
Yeah, if you don't have that, that's an important thing to do. And you really need to transcribe the audio into text, and then search engines will find it properly. You create a blog post.
I hadn't even thought of that. That's good. That's I appreciate that, because
There you go.
we're setting
Dropping
up the
some bombs.
You know, I told you half the reason why I have people on here is
Yeah.
like because like I don't know, and you know, luckily enough, you start to realize it's not possible to know everything that you need to know about it, and
Exactly.
you got to get out of your own way, and if you don't, you're never going to reach your natural limit as a business. Right?
Yeah, I think, you know, transcribing the podcast into text will make it more searchable.
Yeah.
And people will find you and then subscribe. And the other portion is once you release the organic, you know, free posting content, you want to pick the right episode that has the most views and boost it, as they say.
Okay.
You know, you want to create, if you're targeting entrepreneurs, you want to create a targeted ad that targets entrepreneurs or business owners.
Right.
So you need to kind of shell out a smaller budget into it and advertise this specific post.
Yeah.
So more people will notice it.
Right. You know, so say I'm preparing to do a spend of any amount of money. Well, let's say you do a roundabout. Say I'm prepared to spend, this isn't a reasonable number. I'm just going to use it, $1,000 a month. What's some things that you would work with a client to do prior to us launching it? I know you said landing page, but like even do we plan? Is it part of the strategy part of like, because like me just throwing something up and not really having a plan as to how, who, what, when, where?
Yeah, it really depends on what your goals are and who you're trying to target, who should see your content. So there's different things you can do. You can, you know, create a list or purchase a list of potentials.
Right.
Then you can kind of do like a cold email blast with, you know, in the back end, you need to set up the right funnels and the call to action so you can gather up the information. And
So define funnel and call to action real quick.
yeah, so funnel would be a website that has your product offering or your service offering.
Okay.
And a call to action would be whether it's a phone call or a form that people can fill out,
Right.
or they can check out with their credit card to buy your
Right.
product.
Right.
But for us, it would be a lead generation funnel where we're targeting the audience. They're interested in your service. They leave their information that you can follow up with,
Right.
or they drive the traffic to your website. So utilizing the CRM system, we automate the responses. So as soon as somebody fills out a form, We can create a text message. We can send them to a calendar to book a strategy session.
Yeah.
Or we can create like a phone call that will ring your phone call, ring our phone, and then connect us.
Nice. Yeah, because I've done that before, believe it or
Mm-hmm.
not.
Yeah.
Spent money on an ad without having
Some of these funnels are, you can't say no to them. You have like 2 minutes to act, or you're gonna lose the offer.
Oh, yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
It's very, but I always, before you have, like, know what you're selling, have a sales process, know who you're wanting to sell to,
Right.
and then market, because it can get, it sounds like that's why you offer the CRM. That's why you have all these things that you're building out. It's like, we want you to have the best bang for your buck.
Yeah, I mean, if you're offering like IT managed support, you want to target probably customers that need technology support or networking support or CRM platforms. So you can do the proper keyword research and then target the search and make sure the right audience are noticing you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I've got, we're running low on time, but I've got a couple more questions too specifically I wanted to go into. Number one, what sets you guys apart, or what's a good actor in the marketing space? Because, like, even if hopefully every single one of our listeners came to you and was like, take my money, I only have so much bandwidth. But what makes what separates you from the competition? And also, what makes a good, what do you look for? If I was a guy, who should I look for? Because everybody wants to spend my money. Because, like, for the most part, marketing is a lot of times money spent. It's an investment. Money spent in order to get returns on it and hopefully convert those. What makes you guys the best?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we don't take every single customer that calls us
Okay.
because that's important. Why we do these kind of strategy sessions to qualify the customers.
Okay, so it's both. It's a two-way qualification.
Yeah, it's a two-way qualifications. We qualify them by properly do like an audit.
Yeah.
Can we really help them? Is this a business that we want to take on? Do we have expertise in it?
Yeah.
That's why we're trying to niche down into a specific segment and vertical, because we have the experience and kind of portfolio case studies, because we know what we're doing. But what makes us the best? Honest opinion, honest recommendations. We don't want to just take your money and not deliver results. And I'm sure other companies say we have a personal relationship, because we're still like a boutique type of agency. So we like to offer a personal approach and personal commitment to results.
Gotcha. And that again, to touch back into your personal relationship, I experienced that firsthand. I'm not even a client. I'm just a business associate and somebody that, we've started collaborating together, and it's been a great experience for me so far. So thanks for that.
Thank you.
I want to pass it over to you, give you an opportunity. We talked about a bunch of different things on the podcast about, like, what can help out our listeners entrepreneurial wise starting off. Is there anything that we haven't really covered that you feel like we should definitely take a moment to discuss?
Yeah, I think as an entrepreneur, getting your word out is a great thing you need to do. So by you inviting me to the podcast, by you, connecting with me and promoting me through your connections, I think it's important. So connections in your business is crucial. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're not sure where to start, just try to connect with your local, power partners within your industry, or somebody that you find a personal connections.
Boca Business Builder. Come on, see us.
Yeah, come to Boca Business Builders if you're in the area.
Yeah.
Because you never know. You might not get any business, but you might connect with somebody on a personal level.
Right.
And then you might get like a second-tier referral. So I would say if you're in business, you need to really get out there in the real life and network and just try to make friends, which will in return give you business.
Yeah. This past year, June, is really when I kicked it off. I committed to a year of doing business differently.
Yeah.
And because I had heard about it, but it's hard for me to, maybe I picked the wrong ones, or maybe it's a consistency thing, but it's, it's starting to pay off on the relationships, and it's
Yeah.
it's been an incredible experience for me. So I mean, we're sitting here because of that. So,
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's going to snowball. So you're going to get more exposure. And by having different people with different backgrounds, you can cross promote the podcast, cross promote your connections, your brand. So that's how it works. It's gonna go wild.
nice, nice. Well, Denis, thank you so much again for jumping on. Is there? We're going to put your contact information in the show notes. Is there anything audibly that you want to throw out there to how we can get in touch with you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking to connect with everybody. You can check out mediacomponents.com. You can check out my personal website, which is just sinelnikov.com. It has my personal social media and contact information. But generally, I'm looking to connect with entrepreneurs, business owners in South Florida area to build relationships and have fun doing it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Denis, for coming on. And Media Components is spelled just like it sounds. It's a strong domain name because, I can remember that, mediacomponents.com, and I'm not going to mess that up. But I guarantee you, if you do mess it up and you put in Google search, you'll be probably first page. So
this was an amazing podcast. Thanks for having me. This was like one of my first podcast experience, and it wasn't that bad.
Hey, well, you know what?
You made it.
I'll take that. So it was okay. So
yeah.
No, with that, guys, thanks once again. We hope you guys have found this interesting. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, share with a friend. Go talk to my buddy Denis. With that being said, I hope you have found this interesting. Let me know if you didn't. If we need to talk about something else when I have Denis, or if I need to have him back on again, I'm happy to have him back on. He will definitely be in with us on the summit. So with that being said, thank you so much. Have an excellent week, and we will see you again soon. Peace.